Okay, so to start the review, the first question is about solving, which basically, anytime you're solving or you're isolating for an unknown, you're going to use the BEDMAS, but in opposite, backwards steps. Do you guys remember the word BEDMAS? Okay, so BEDMAS is the order that you follow in order to not solve, to simplify. Okay, so the BEDMAS is represents brackets, exponents. So this is the order that you have to simplify. So if you have an exponent, division, multiplication, addition, is it 2B?
Yeah.
And subtract. The thing with division and multiplication, whatever order they appear in. So if let's say division appears before multiplication, then you have to do division first, then you do the multiplication. If you see multiplication first, then division, then you do multiplication, then you follow by the division. Okay? So this one in order from left to right. Same with addition and subtraction, it's order. I apologize for the writing, it's just this way, this pen doesn't write properly. Okay, so that means if I have something that looks like this, BEDMAS tells me that I have to follow the order, right? I can't just go and start adding and subtracting and multiplying without following a specific order, right? So in this case, as you can see, I have to start with the brackets, right? So simplify whatever is inside the bracket. That's the first thing. So I have 4 minus 2, so this is the first thing that I have to do. So it's going to be equal to 3 times 4 minus 2 is 2 squared divided by 6. Okay? After that, after the bracket comes the exponent. So I have to look at the exponent, so I have 2 squared, I have to do that. If you happen to do 3 times 2 and then do the exponent, that is wrong. You're going to get a wrong answer and it's not going to be correct right away because you're not following the order. So first, you must do your exponent. So that's going to be 4. Okay, I tell you, this acts just like horrible sometimes. And then with respect to the multiplication and division and multiplication, you have to follow the order that it goes from left to right. So what do you see first, multiplication or division? What do you see first? Multiplication, right? Multiplication comes first in this case, right? So you have to do 3 times 4 first, then you're going to divide by 6, right? So that's going to be 12, then divided by 6, so that's going to be 2. Are we okay with this? So this order of operations is gonna work no matter what you're doing, okay? Anytime you're simplifying, you're collecting like terms, you're doing, you're basically finding an answer after you plug it into the formula, right? Because sometimes we're gonna have to, like when we did the cosine law and the sine law, right? We have to plug in the formula, plug in the numbers, and then solve. We have to follow the BEDMAS, okay? Now, when you are solving, you're gonna reverse the BEDMAS, okay? So you're gonna work backward, okay? So let's look at the first question. First question. First question is simple. So it's x plus 3 equals 10, right? So remember that when you're solving or when you're isolating, you have to do the reverse operation. Okay, we talked about the reverse operation yesterday. We talked about a little bit about the plus, minus, multiplication, division, and the square root and square. So in this case, you want to isolate for the letter x, right? So you want to move the 3 to the right? It's an addition. So you have to do x equals 10 minus 3, because you're moving the plus 3 over and becomes a negative 3. So x equals 7. That's your final answer. The answer should make sense, right? Because if I plug in 7 back into x, 7 plus 3 is equal to 10, right? So this is a way that you can check for your solution by plugging that answer back into the letter and then making sure that your left side is equal to the right side of the equation.
Weird. I don't think I've ever learned this type of math before. Like, is it possible that other teachers haven't taught this way? Like,
they must have taught it somehow. Some teachers teach it in a way that, okay, if you have x plus 3 equals 10, maybe you've seen this, that you have to do minus 3 on both sides. Have you learned it that way?
I'm really bad with like algebra and stuff, so it could be just me, but I don't know. It just really doesn't seem familiar. I know it's weird. But anyway, I'm catching up.
They have to kind of teach it somehow, because in any math that you do, you have to solve for a variable. Okay, but there's different ways. There's a way where you move it, and where there's a way that you do the opposite operation for both sides. So how do you get rid of a positive 3? You subtract 3 on both sides, right? And that will give you x equals 7. That's another way that they can have taught this. Right? You probably have seen that way too. Okay? I don't know if there's any other ways that I'm not aware of. For the second one, you have x divided by 2 equals to 4. So always ask, what kind of operation do I have between the x? So what do? You have x divided by 2 equals to 4. How can you get rid of that 2? Because that's what your ultimate goal is, right? Getting rid of the 2. When you bring it over, what does it become? Multiplication, because the opposite of division is multiplication. Okay? So you can do x equals 4 times 2, which is 8. And here's where the reverse BEDMAS starts working. Okay? So on the right side, what do you see here? So 7 multiplied by k plus 6, right? You want to isolate for k. So you have to move all the numbers that is on the right side. You have to bring them over to the left side. Okay? Which one do you get rid of first? The 6, right? Because remember with BEDMAS, right? The last thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna add, right? That's the last thing you're gonna do, right? You're gonna multiply this times this, whatever that k is, and then you're gonna add 6, right? When you're isolating, you wanna move backward, okay? So first thing you wanna get rid of is the 6. Then you wanna get rid of that 7, okay? So we're gonna follow 2 steps here. The first step is we're gonna bring the 6 over, and when I bring it over, it's gonna become minus 6. Okay? So 20 minus 6, that is 14. Then another thing that I want to get rid of is that 7. Right? There's 7 times k. Anything that's 7k means it's multiplication. When I bring it over, it becomes division. So that would be 14 over 7. So the answer is 2. Okay? As you can see, I have shown all my step here, step by step. There's ways that you can make this shorter, but for now, I want to see your steps so you get used to it. Okay? It's getting a little complicated, right? It's not as simple as the previous ones. When you see when you see more than one variable, like it's the same variable, but it's there more than once, you're gonna have to simplify before you isolate. Okay? You're gonna have to get used to these words: simplify, isolate, these terminology. Simplify means put things together when you can. Okay? So if you're looking at this, I see 2y, subtract 5, minus bracket at y minus 3. It's too bulky. Okay? How can I simplify this? Go ahead.
Start with the brackets. Negative y times 3, plus 3.
Plus 3. So you see that negative outside the brackets right here? Right? That belongs to everything inside the bracket. This is why we put the bracket. That means this is multiplied by this and. Okay? So the first thing that you want to do is you want to get rid of that bracket so you can put things together. Okay? So that negative distributed into both, you're going to imagine it's a negative 1, right? And then you're going to distribute. So it's going to be negative y. Negative times negative gives me positive. Okay? So now the first thing that I got rid of that is the bracket, so I can move things around. You guys remember what the word like term means? Yes. Like term, they have to have the same variable with the same exponent. Okay? So not only is it enough that to have the same variable, the exponent has to be the same. So in this case, I only have one letter, which is y, and then the exponent is 1 for both of them. Right? So all what I have to do is putting this and this together. So what's 2y minus y?
2y squared?
What?
Oh, it's minus.
Yeah, you're subtract.
That was.
Okay? So 2, you have 2 x, and then you broke 1. So you have 1 x, right? Now, the negative 5 and the plus 3, you can simplify that 2 on the spot. So with that, these two can go together, right? So what's negative 5 plus 3? Negative 2 equals to 7. So what I did so far, up to this point, I'm only simplifying. Okay? So I made my equation from a bulky equation, right, with a lot of terms, to a simple equation with only 3 terms. Now it's a matter of moving the negative 2 over, and it becomes plus 2, so that is, does that make sense? Okay. The important thing is not only know how to do the math. You need to be able to read the math. Okay? You need to be able to look at this and say, okay, I have 2y minus 5, and then I have that negative that's multiplied by the bracket. If you don't know that this negative is actually multiplied by the bracket, you're not reading the math correctly. Okay? Are we okay with this? Alright. I want to give you a couple minutes to try the next one, because the next one is similar to this, but it's a little bit higher level. Okay? Similar idea. You have y's on both sides, so you want to bring the y's on one side after you. So do the first step, right, which is to remove all the brackets. Okay? And then after that, you want the y's on one side and you want the numbers on the other side. Okay? Try that. Let's see what you can get to, and then we'll come back and do it on the